Child trafficking and abuse is identified as a serious crime against humanity. The media and stakeholder dialogue on child trafficking and abuse in Nigeria, organized by Youth Allied Foundation Africa in collaboration with the Akwa Ibom State Task Force on Human Trafficking in Uyo, provided a platform for stakeholders to brainstorm and deliberate on the ways to free the society of this crime.
Child trafficking is when you involve children in forced labor. You see a 7 years old doing what they're not supposed to be doing, selling in canteen. You put them at risk. Child trafficking is all those people that, there's baby factories. They take young teenagers, they lock them up, they get people to sleep with them, and then they have the babies they sell to the highest bidders in the society. That's child harvesting. That's still child trafficking. Even there are some harmful traditional practices like they do in Cross River State, money woman. Is wrong. Fathers and grandfathers owe debts, and when they'll give a small girl as debt settlement, that's debt bondage. The child can be 10 or 9 years old. They will say, okay, you, this family, take this child to settle our debt. That they call them money woman, and that's debt bondage. That's all child trafficking. And the number one we know, sexual exploitation, is child trafficking. You take small girls, you take them to another town for prostitution. It's broad. So it's so prevalent. Do you know that in 2006, the United Nations said child trafficking and abuse, especially linked to baby factories, is number 3 largest crime in Nigeria. 2006. So because this thing is so prevalent and people are not aware, they just hear one story here, one story. We wanted to just bring together relevant stakeholders, especially the media. Because the media is important. They are the ones, they've heard these stories today. They are the ones to take it out. They've heard the laws. So we really need the media to step up their game and help us to amplify.
In her remarks, the Akwa Ibom State Commissioner for Women Affairs, Dr. Ineadiakpan, said the fight against child trafficking should not be left only to the government and called on the collective efforts of all and sundry to free the society of the menace.
Let us as individuals also look out for these people, that together we can get it done. Let us not leave everything for government. Government cannot be ubiquitous, but government is always there.
Stakeholders at the event called on the media to effectively educate and enlighten the public on ways to prevent child trafficking and abuse in the society.
Trafficking, the act, the means, the purpose, it's a very painful experience. We should bring in traditionalists. Most of them, they lure these people, they deceive them, give them wrong information, they recruit them in this act. Herbalists should be here. Let us sit together and talk to stop this menace.
We've seen the need to engage the grassroots, in this fight and in this, response to child trafficking and abuse, because at the end of the day, it still comes down, to our people. And then the push factor to some people is poverty, but then there is a way we can deal. I love what the Honorable Commissioner for Women Affairs said. We have a lot of land in Akwa Ibom, and we have a lot of other things that people could engage themselves rather than sending their children out to be abused. Recently, we rescued a 12-year-old child who went to hawk pepper for the mother and then fell into the hands of ritualists who attempted to gouge out our eyes for what we call organ harvesting for ritual purposes. That child ended up almost dead while the mother was at home claiming poverty. So we want to talk to parents to take their responsibilities as parents and not send these children out to become breadwinners for their homes. We have too many child-headed families where children are the breadwinners for their families. This ought not to be so. The child rights law is in Akwa Ibom. It is effective, and going forward we are going to implement it to the letter. If we see a child that is on the road, especially a child that is under the age of 12 that is on the road hawking, instead of being in school, we are going to take action. So those are the actions we have agreed on going forward, and then that we'll be doing to ensure that we eradicate child trafficking and abuse in Akwa Ibom.
It's happening within our household, and those who have been perpetrating this act are not far from us. They are just within us.
I want to say that in this dialogue, the media is very, very important. The media has a very critical role to play, because at times when these perpetrators are arrested, defend ignorance of the law. And I ask, if you don't even know about the law, what of morality? Don't you fear God? Please, we cannot do this alone. We in the Ministry of Justice, we have put the necessary machinery in motion, which the task force is one of such. We have the Department of Public Prosecution, and we have the Gender-Based Violence Department, which has been working day and night to see how we can reduce this menace, if not entirely eradicating it from our states.
We should be whistleblowers, even in our communities, to have them, where they can report the incident that is happening around them. So many youths, because they don't have what to do, what they do is engage in drinking, and after drinking, what they do is to abuse a child.
The event, which was well attended, featured a roundtable discussion and drama presentation. Udwa Abasime, AITV, South Nigeria.